Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing really well. Wish I could say the same for myself right now. I've actually been incredibly under the weather for the last week. I'm just on the tail end of a really nasty cold. It was so crazy, like I went into a meeting last Thursday and it was for an hour, and at the beginning of the meeting I was just a little bit sniffly, and by the end of the meeting I was like full on infested with like a sore throat, massive headache, runny nose, coughing. It just like completely took over my body, and so I went home that night and I was like, oh my god, I cannot afford to get sick. This is ridiculous. Like I've got to work on Saturday. So I rested up all Friday, made sure I slept as much as I could, took heaps of cold and flu tablets, home remedies, all that sort of stuff, and I was starting to feel really, really good. So that was good because my energy levels were starting to kind of like slowly creep up, but I had to work on the Saturday, and there's just these situations sometimes where you have to look presentable and you still have to go out even when you feel like after shit. You may have ran out of sick days, or you've got clients or whatnot. It's just the reality of life that sometimes you can't just lay in bed and try and rest up. You have to go back to work. So I thought I'd just put a really quick and easy makeup tutorial together for you guys for when you're feeling under the weather and you have to look healthy. So this makeup look is designed to be super quick and easy because no bitch has time for a full face of makeup when they feel like crap. It's just something that's really light and fresh. It shouldn't take you overly long. It's minimal but very effective when you're not feeling very well. I'm just going to talk about a couple of skincare products and just ways of just like really making sure your skin's really well prepped, because generally when you're under the weather you're dehydrated or your skin's really dry and it's you know, it flakes in certain areas. It's quite funny though, because sometimes I find I can get super oily at the same time, so I dehydrate but get oily. I personally know I've got to be very conscious of that with my makeup. But when it comes to things like hydration, I really like this moisturiser from Glam Glow. This is the Mega Illuminating Moisturiser. So this has got a really beautiful pearly shine to it, so it's just gonna give the skin some nice radiance to it. Like if I was to move my face on the side, you can just pick up that soft illumination that it has in it. So I put this all over, and when I'm sick I actually use face masks quite a lot, so I like to use super hydrating face masks. And I notice such a big difference in my skin when I do that. One product I would highly recommend if you don't want to wear any makeup and you just wanted a little bit more of a glow or lift to the complexion of your skin, this product is amazing. This is the D-Bronze Sunshine Drops from Drunk Elephant. So this is just like a really beautiful illuminating tanning drop that you can put into your moisturizer. So you just do like one pump of it. I actually even like half a pump because a lot goes a long way, and it just gives you a little bit of like a nice bronziness to your skin without, you know, having to put anything on when it comes to cosmetics. So that's just a nice little tip if you wanted a bit more radiance. So generally when you're under the weather you'll find you get quite puffy underneath the eyes. So this is a product that I love to use. So this is the Stress Positive Eyelid from Dermalogica, and it has a really nice cooling tip as an applicator. I actually pop this in the fridge when I'm sick, and it just cools down the tip but also the formulation inside. And so just by rolling this around the eye area, it helps stimulate blood flow and it helps with depuffing areas. Of course you can use things like cold tea bags because they have a lot of antioxidants in them, which helps with inflammation and stuff like that. There's so many like different remedies like just cucumber, but the best thing you can do is just put something cooling on here and it will just help with inflammation and cool down that area. So when it comes to dry flaky lips, I love to use a lip scrub. So this one is from MAC, and this just helps remove any dead built up skin. It'll just smoothen out and help prep your lips before you put any treatment on them. So you don't have to have like an actual product. You can just use sugar for this because usually they're just like sugar scrubs. So now I'm just going to chuck a little bit of a treatment on them just so they're nice and hydrated. There is like nothing worse than chapped lips. Oh my god, it's so like debilitating, I swear. Like, so when it comes to primers I try and stick more to illuminating ones. So I've got multiple here. I always love just using like strobe cream to give it a lot of luminosity. If you're feeling super dull, a product like this, which is a color correcting primer by YSL, is fantastic in those like duller areas. Today I'm going to use the Mercier hydrating primer. Prep work is so essential when it comes to any type of form of application with makeup, But when you're super dehydrated and just under the weather, layering is a really good idea. So when you start to feel super hydrated, that's a good sign. Because I've been blowing my nose and sometimes like I'll find my eyes go a little bit red or I've rubbed them and stuff like that, color correction always helps in certain areas just to take away redness. This is from Estee Lauder. This is their custom coverage correcting duo. This is a green based illuminator. So this is just going to help color correct any major redness in my skin. So there's an illuminator and then there's a concealer, but because I'm going with quite a lightweight finish today, I only just want something super light. So I'm just going to work that in to the skin. Okay, so when it comes to my foundation, I just want something really nice and lightweight, a little bit dewy, just to make my skin look really like bright and radiant, because generally when I'm run down, I find my skin is very flat, very dull and dry, and so I just want to create kind of like the opposite effect. So this is probably one of my favorite foundations at the moment for something like that. So this is the Touche Éclat All-in-One Glow Foundation. I've talked about this multiple times on my Instagram story, just like saying how much I love it as a product, because it kind of just gives like a no makeup look, makes the skin look really glowy, and just gives like an airbrush finish. So I'm going to do 2 pumps of this and apply it. So I'm going to be using a brush to apply this. I actually try and stay away from using beauty blenders while I'm sick, mainly because I am susceptible to cold sores. So generally just when I'm run down, that's when I will get a cold sore, but sometimes when I get a cold I will as well, because my immune system is so low. This is really going to turn you guys off using sponges when you're sick. I swear to God, it's so much information, it's almost too much. But when I was like 20, before I really got into makeup, I used a beauty blender when I had like a cold sore I didn't even see, like it came up the next day. I used my beauty blender and used it all on my face, and my face caught a massive infection because of that cold sore. I had to go on antibiotics, I had to go see a skin specialist. It left like horrific scarring on my face. So just be really aware that sponges carry a lot of bacteria, and when you're sick it's best just to use a brush and then go clean it. A sponge can just hold on to bacteria. So when it comes to concealing, you've got 2 options, and it depends on what you're trying to target. If you've got dark circles, I would definitely recommend a fuller concealer that moves really well. It's kind of got more of a microflex technology to it. Pro Long Wear is meant to be quite good for that from MAC. I do really like the Studio Fix 24-hour smooth wear concealer by MAC for more high coverage. If you just need a little bit of brightening, go with something like the Touche Éclat by YSL. A lot of other brands do very similar kind of like illuminating sticks, so pens, so don't worry, it doesn't have to be like YSL. I'm pretty sure like Collection Cosmetics or like NYX and all that, they do similar things. So I've gone with the Studio Fix from MAC just because I want a little bit of extra coverage today. I've got a big day of just doing a few things in town and then a few meetings, so I just know it's going to be a long day, so I just want to make sure it's not going to go anywhere. So I'm just going to place it all underneath my eyes. So I forgot to mention this, but I have not put a lot of foundation on my nose, purely because I find it easier to touch up with. When I put heaps and heaps of product on my nose and I like wipe it, or I'm like sneezing and stuff, I generally find the thicker the consistency, the harder it is to touch up. So less on the nose is better, and I always just carry a compact, a powder compact and a little brush, and I find it really easy just to buff around that area. It is really hard, it is inevitable that you are going to shift your makeup, especially when you're playing with your nose. So when it comes to just putting a little bit of colour back into my skin, I'm going to be using the Chubby Stick Contouring Stick by Clinique, and I'm just going with mainly like cream products today, but then we're still going to set it with a bit of a translucent powder. I love creams because when they're applied, they're very skin-like. So when it comes to blush, I toss up between 2 products, either a cream blush, so this one is the Cushion Blush from Lancôme, or I'll use something that's got a little bit of a luminosity in it. So this one is the Petal Power Mineralized Blush by MAC. I'm going to use my beauty blender just to apply this. So I'm just going to pop this on the apples of my cheeks just to really add some colour back into my complexion. So this again is looking very skin-like and very natural because it is a cream product that we are applying. So I like to just kind of flush it up close to my nose just so it looks like more of a natural kind of blush. Because I've used a lot of illuminating and cream products, I want to make sure I still control the look of my makeup as opposed to looking oily. I just want it to look nice and glowy. So I'm going to be using the Veil Translucent Powder from Hourglass, and I'm just going to be using a soft amount of this just through my T-zone where I get oily. So we're not going to do a lot to my brows at all. They do not need to be snatched. They just need to look fresh as today. So I'm just going to put the tiniest bit of shaping into them, and I'm just going to be using the Precisely My Brow pencil to do this, and I use it in number 3. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, which you guys probably already noticed, but I got my hair cut. If you follow me on my Instagram and stuff, you would have seen the transformation. But yeah, we do plan on going a little bit darker with my hair. I only bring this up because I was just thinking about my brow colors just then. We're just going to put a little bit of Gimmie Brow and the color number 3 from Benefit through the brows. Just because my brows at the moment need the tiniest bit of extra coloring because they are so fair. It doesn't take much for the makeup to pick up on them, and they just look real washed out. So we're just going to add a little bit of oomph through there. And then just to brush them up, I'm going to be using my favorite product. I freaking love this stuff. This is a 24-hour brow setter from Benefit, and we're just going to push those brows up so they look a little bit more like wispy and fresh and natural looking, just to suit the makeup. Now for my eyes, I'm literally going to do one color, and I'm going to be using it from my bronzer, and we're just going to use a big fluffy brush, and we're just going to slightly contour the eye shape. Just one color is great just to help define and make the eye pop a little bit. And this is such a nice warm brown, and they do say when you run down, try and use like slightly more like orangey warmer tones. Naturally with warmth you get more of a healthier kind of finish. So when it comes to mascaras, it's really personal preference, but a lot of the time I do recommend trying to do waterproof because it just lasts longer throughout the day, especially if you are a little bit more susceptible to sneezing at the time. You know, your eyes get watery, and you might get a little bit itchy there. I know for a fact that I get quite bad allergies at the same time when I run down, so I touch my eyes a lot. So waterproof does always help. Today I'm using the Shock by YSL. It's one of my favorite foundations. It's one of my favorite mascaras to help push, lift, and like coat my lashes really well, so it gives my eye a really nice wide-eyed look. Now I haven't put much eyeshadow at all underneath my eyes because I want to keep it nice and fresh. Just keep any kind of major contouring top heavy. So yeah, I just try and stay away from any kind of eyeliners, anything that will irritate my eyes while I'm applying it. When it comes to my lips for a bit of colour, especially when I'm run down, I love something that's got a little bit of hydration to it, more of an oil kind of base to it, and nothing that's going to dry out my lips. So I like something like this. This is from YSL. This is their lip color balm. I'll note the color down in the description box. It's a really beautiful tinted oil. And so even if it wears off, it just has this soft colour left in the lips. Then to set it into place, I'll be using the Banana Bake Blurring Setting Spray by Mega Max. Just another really good little product if you guys have got it, and it's really nice to prep your skin with before you apply makeup, is the facial spray with aloe vera, herbs and rosewater by Mario Dabisco. It's just really, it's got beautiful properties in it to help with inflammation and just add extra hydration. So we'll just chuck the setting spray on. Here is the completed look there for you guys. It's super similar just to like my everyday quick easy makeup look anyway, so it's just super glowy, really fresh, very easy. Of course I did mention I will either pack up my translucent powder or a little cream compact just for touch-ups with a brush. I generally find the translucent powder is the best one with a little brush, and just to buff around those areas when you've got a little bit of missing foundation. Again, it's really hard to combat. It is the inevitable sometimes, but less is more generally on that area. If you've got any questions about anything that I've done, anything I've used, ask away in the comment section. I'll leave all the products in the description box for you guys to check out. Hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to be a part of my channel. And yeah, if you're watching this when you're not feeling too well, I hope you get better soon. Rest up, and yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!